I like a lot of onions. I'm going to cut that up with a little bit of celery, a little bit of carrot, and all we have for our ingredients is chicken broth, a little cream of mushroom soup, a little bit of white wine, salt and pepper, and later on we're going to thicken it up with some Kentucky kernel flour because I really like that peppery flavor. I'm not going to use a whole lot of celery. I like a little bit. I like to use the leaves too. It gives a lot of good flavor. This is just for flavor. It gives a great taste. Oh, one more little thing was hidden back here. It's just a little bit of thyme. I like that in my chicken and squirrel recipes. It gives a nice, wonderful taste. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my squirrel. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the pot here. And I'm going to cook this until I can very easily pull the meat off of the bone. We've got our squirrel in the container. Now I went ahead and put just a little bit of salt and pepper on there. I like my salt and pepper. Now obviously, the doctor says don't use it. Go ahead and use it anyway. I'm just kidding. Do what your doctor says. And I'm going to take some water. I'm going to take some chicken broth. And a couple cups of water, 3 or 4 cups. Just cover it real good. And there's my chicken broth. There's my half cup of white wine. And I'm going to go ahead and cover that up. A little bit more water. Just get in there till you get everything covered up. Then I'm to empty my cream of mushroom soup. If you don't like cream of mushroom soup, you want to use some cream of celery soup. It'd be good too. Some people don't like mushrooms. Put my carrots in. And my onions. And my celery. It already smells delicious. Chicken bouillon cubes. Drop in there. Boop, boop, boop. Tiny bit of thyme. Just a touch. I'm going to plug it up. Now I'm going to let that cook until the meat starts to fall off the bone, until it easily comes off the bone. Now, that's your crock pot, again, has its own personality. This has got a 4-hour, 6-hour, 8-hour, 10-hour setting. If you're going away for the whole day, set it on the long setting. I want this done fairly quick, so I'm going to set it on 4 to 6 hours. If it's not done, just let it cook a little bit longer. Now that's going to start to thicken up, and that soup's going to start to thicken up. And just let it roll, and you're going to start smelling something good in a little while. All right, we're done cooking. So now I'm going to take my squirrel, and I'm going to separate the meat from the bone. Now I'm going to pull the meat off of that bone, and I'm going to put the meat back in. All right, now we're going to take our pieces of meat, separate that off the bone. Now for the magic of television, I had 2 crock pots going. This one is the finished product. This is after everything is cooked for a while. Now it's something you might want to do, especially if you've got some big old fox squirrels. You may want to cut your time down by putting them in a pressure cooker and let them cook a little bit till they fall off the bone, because that's the lengthiest part of this process. These were little old gray squirrels, and it took them a good while to cook. And on the back burners while we're cooking here, you'll notice that I've got some potatoes going for the mashed potatoes, and I got some fresh corn on the cob right out of the garden. All right, the last and final step is I've got about half a cup of warm water in there. I'm going to take some Kentucky kernel flour. I'm going to get that stirred initially there so it's get the clumps out. Get your whisk. Get it all stirred up good. And I like the nice peppery taste that it adds. I'm going to take this and pour it into there. And I'm going to mix it up. Let it thicken up. That's the consistency I want. It's starting to look like gravy. It's all nice and thick. And then I'm going to take this whole mixture of carrots, squirrel, the gravy, and I'm going to dip that on a heaping hunk of mashed potatoes. I got me some fresh corn on the cob, some fresh sliced tomatoes. And you got yourself a rib-sticking squirrel meal right there. Tell me that doesn't look good. Now, you know what? Yesterday was going to be a deer hunt. We switched gears. Now we have a plate full of squirrel. Don't tell me a country boy can't survive. And let me tell you what. I know a lot of you out there thinking, he's eating a tree rat. He's eating a squirrel. I've eaten a lot of these in my lifetime. And let me tell you what, it's really delicious. Let me say one more thing. The longest thing it takes to cook is to get the meat off the bone. Now, you may want to pressure cook this ahead of time. If you've got a whole lot of time and want to let it sit for 10 hours, knock yourself out. But I'm going to quit talking and start eating. Now, hey, check out our Facebook page and like it. Find out what we're doing, where we're going, and we'll talk some hunting and fishing to boot.